I consider myself a seasoned gamer with a variety of beloved genres and a diverse gaming library spanning across over 2 decades and a dozen consoles ranging from the original Nintendo to the modern PS5. So when I say that Final Fantasy XIV is truly one of the best gaming experiences a human can have, I say that on good authority. I wanted to make this video for those of you who have not yet experienced this amazing game in an attempt to sway you. I want to tell you why you should play Final Fantasy XIV, because even after 3,000 hours, I'm still hooked, and believe me, I have tried to quit. This video is by no means a guide to mastering this amazing game, but rather a love letter to the game itself. So without further ado, welcome back to the channel, my nerds. Let's get into it. As a lover of adventure, music, and deep emotion, I have found a bastion within the world of Final Fantasy XIV, a haven for my love of great stories and thrilling experiences. Final Fantasy XIV is a game that draws you in through all of your senses and can appeal to you and most anyone through its content, which is an amazing variety. Whether you love role-playing, adventures, strategic battles, making cozy homes, farming for amazing gear and mounts, or even just looking glamorous as you AFK in a very cozy town, this game is for you. And yet, even after saying all that, I still feel like I'm just scratching the surface to what this game has to offer. And if you aren't baited into learning more, well, I bid you to watch on. From the moment I log into this MMO, my third eye opens as one of the best musical scores in gaming history washes over me, causing me to be immersed in a fantastical escape from the real world. It's blissful sitting at the home screen with the theme song, something I intentionally use to center myself after a long day in the real world. I found that by allowing yourself to be fully immersed, it is truly the best way to experience the magic that this game has to offer. The game is by definition the epitome of trust the process. While the story may start slow, the reward is found in the many arcs to be discovered, and trust me, there shall be tears. You may be thinking, isn't this just an MMO? And that, my friend, is where you are wrong. While this is indeed an MMO, there is no imposed limit of it just being an MMO, as the experience here rivals even the best single-player games on the market, and in my opinion, exceed them. There's something beautiful about creating your first character in this game. A sense of wonder and awe surround you, as you will likely spend far too long in the character creator, which is encouraged, as I've found that your first character is one that you will never forget, and likely the one you carry to the end, and then some. And speaking of design, I've also found the enemy and boss designs to truly be remarkable in this game. These baddies, to put it in simpler terms, are not just visually impressive, but also contain soundscapes and deep lore that will keep gamer historians foaming at the mouth. I've yet to experience a dungeon or boss or raid that does not capture me as a player through the challenges and yes, the visual presence. Final Fantasy XIV also has some of the coolest cinematics, a reward for clearing each expansion, whereby setting up the next amazing story arc. These moments often induce a mixture of tears and goosebumps for the player, and can be enjoyed repeatedly through the main menu. Rewatching the base game cinematics still give me this sense of greater will, awe, and an invitation to come journey with the main cast of the series. Once in the game, you will soon realize that the vast collection of classes or jobs available to you, which only increase in number as you progress through the story in each expansion, these classes and jobs deepen the role-playing experience and the overall connection you will feel with your custom character. I found that the game does an amazing job of interweaving your experience with your chosen class throughout the entire game, which not only includes combat-based scenarios, but deep wells of stories and renown. Combat is something that I have also found great pleasure in. The joy I experience teaming up with a diverse party as I enter a new dungeon or trial is often palpable. I feel the significance of my role within each instance and the responsibility my character carries in group content. It makes the victory sweet and overcoming failures that much sweeter, which you will find plenty of the more you try the harder content within the game. I still remember my first extreme trial, adrenaline pumping, joy and fear caressing my soul, and a true childlike wonder as I was repeatedly thrown off a cliff to my death. These high-intensity moments are equally balanced, however, with other forms of content that can be engaged at any point. Content variety is one of the most amazing aspects of this game, as it allows the player to mold the game around real-life capacities. As a husband and newly made father, my season of life is incredibly different when compared to my bachelor days, and yet Final Fantasy XIV remains part of my life without negligence to what is most important. How can this be, you might ask? It's simple. This game was made with you in mind. The game doesn't force you to do anything you don't want to, which means you get to experience Final Fantasy XIV in your own way and at your own pace, regardless of how much or little you can actually devote. Sometimes I may only have time to quickly log in and run a few dungeons in between meetings. Sometimes I have hours to devote to blazing through the main story quests. Sometimes I have days to devote to slaying an extreme trial boss. And on the other occasions where I have no time to really play, but still want to experience the magic, I will simply log in and watch the ambient world pass by and occasionally chat with random players, which is an aspect in its own right deserving attention: the community. The Final Fantasy XIV community can be likened to happy, selfless strangers who are eager to help you navigate a new world, answer random questions, help you clear content, and even give you in-game currency. The amount of times I have approached a random stranger to join my party to help me clear content, only to be received with a joyous and even eager reply, is just the beginning when it comes to the players in this amazing community. When I encounter a player in the real world in the wild, it's only customary to provide a greeting through a cordial emote, and in the event I'm not running to my next quest, I will even comment on their mount or armor, which normally prompts a brief fashion show and stories of how they've obtained this amazing armor. The community has a peculiar fondness over new players, which often manifests as extreme curiosity on a new player's reaction to key moments in this game. This fondness can also present itself as vicious protection, especially over new players, especially running new content in the game. There's been many times where I have died during critical boss fights and immediately felt horrible, only to be met with a resounding message of support and encouragement, an experience heavily juxtaposed from most gaming communities. When I first began playing Final Fantasy XIV, I had every intention of being a solo player. However, I quickly found myself being recruited by a group of players that mentored me in all things Final Fantasy. This eventually led to forming meaningful relationships with so many amazing players whom I still consider my friends in the real world. There's something magical about being greeted by your friends when logging into a fantasy world or having the support needed to navigate the many questions new players face. While you can absolutely remain a solo player, Final Fantasy XIV takes on an entirely new feeling when experienced with this amazing community. Final Fantasy XIV is a video game, but presents itself so much more than that. It truly is a magical experience that every gamer, fantasy lover, MMO enthusiast, and yes, even anime nerd should partake of. The sheer life to be found in this game is astounding, and I'm not even considered halfway through the game, despite clearing over 3,000 hours of in-game playtime. The memories that this game has fostered will be memories that I carry with me forever. From the cute mounts to the brutally hard content, from the amazing community to the deep and moving main story, from role-playing to the incredibly rich musical score, Final Fantasy XIV is an experience that is truly incredible. I would like to say thank you to all of you in the Final Fantasy XIV community for being a critical factor in my continued investment of time and finances to this amazing game. And of course, thanks to all of you for watching my love letter to Final Fantasy XIV and your continued support to this channel. If you like this video, please check out my other videos and consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, nerds, have a great day. Bye-bye.